A few weeks ago, I revealed my new daily driver, a 2016 Ford Taurus SHO. I bought this car for only $6,200, and after fixing a hard misfire with a new set of spark plugs and doing some preventative maintenance like cleaning nasty intake valves, I had the perfect daily driver. A nice, comfortable car with loads of space, all-wheel drive, and decent power out of its twin-turbo V6. I cleaned it up a bit, and one could say the car was done, end of story. But I woke up one day in kind of a daze and realized that I had accidentally ordered a table full of performance parts for the show. Oh, another wonderful day in the shop. Whoa, what in the world is all of this? Oh no, I did it again. Now, unfortunately, I don't remember much, but I did see a doctor since this happens often, and he diagnosed me with an incurable disease called SPOS, or sudden parts ordering syndrome. And the symptoms include modifying perfectly good cars and replacing every part within a 10-foot radius of the one that's failed while you're in there. So let me know in the comments if you guys suffer from any of these symptoms, as if we all get together, maybe there'll be a cure for this disease, or maybe not. Anyway, since the doctor said there is no treatment, he says it's best to continue on with stuff like this, or my body could go into withdrawals and possibly shock. So it's nice to know that it's not my fault, it's the disease. And at this point, we just have to put all this stuff on the Taurus and make it go faster. Darn. All right, so we're gonna get to installing all of this, but first I wanna get a baseline 0 to 60. But I had to stop driving this car recently because I was getting a burning smell from the exhaust, and then found that my PTU, the power transfer unit or transfer case, is leaking really bad. So let's drill a hole in it. It'll all make sense soon, I promise. We have to get this exhaust pipe out of the way, and I have pre-soaked everything, so we have a chance of it coming apart without much breaking. Here we go. It's a great start. And this thing's a little bit more powerful. Okay. Well, you know the drill. It's fire time. Nice. Did it. Into the cupcake or muffin tray you go. Is there a difference between a cupcake and a muffin tray, or are they the exact same thing? Not bad. Oh, sweet. This pipe just bends out of our way because of that flex joint, and now we can get to this area. This leak is really, really bad, I must say. Let's clean this mess up a little bit before we start drilling into the case. Oh, this thing is nasty. All right, that's just a wee bit better. I like this flat spot right here, so we're gonna center punch it, and that will locate our drill bit. And we should be getting some fluid coming out as soon as we poke through. Man, this thing is thick. There we go. Oh, are you kidding me? Is there no fluid at all? Oh, jeez. And this is one of the reasons why these PTUs fail. If they develop a leak, they lose all their fluid, and there's not much in here to begin with. And this thing is bone dry. When I first bought the car, it had a little bit of a leak, and then I noticed when it got really bad and I just stopped driving it. So anyway, let's put some fluid in there, and I wanna see some actually come out. You know, let's just go ahead and drill this out to the right size. It'll make it much easier for the fluid to come out. There we go. I mean, seriously, people, this thing had no fluid at all. I mean, there was no doubt I was driving this thing with it severely low, but I stopped when I saw a little puddle on the ground. I think one of the side seals is leaking out, but Ford considers the PTU fluid, which is just 75 W140 gear oil, to be lifetime, which is so dumb. I hate when manufacturers do this to try to pretend that the maintenance costs on the car are low. It's not lifetime. Maybe lifetime of the 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty, but people have a ton of PTU failures, and I think it's because they don't put a lot of fluid in there, and they tell you to never check it. There's no drain, there's no nothing. That's why we're adding the drain. We're gonna tap this hole, so we'll lubricate it, and lubricate your tap. And since the case is aluminum, this should be fairly easy to cut new threads. Just make sure you're going straight. You'll feel it bite. There we go. And we're good. All right, threads have been cut. This is the plug I'm using. Let's take it out right now though and get some fluid in. Just want to see what it looks like coming out. This is the fill plug. I pulled it out from right there. And here is our fill setup. We have our AMSOIL 7540 in a squeeze pouch, and we're simply going to squeeze. And this fluid is now going up the tube, and hopefully we'll get some to come out at some point. Come on, fluid out, there we go. Well, that's all it takes to start coming out, so that's nice. We have our fresh fluid, so now we can install our drain. And now with that plugged up, we'll keep going until it starts coming out of the fill, and then we know we're full. And there is our drip. Wow. It didn't even take the full quart. That is horrible. That's why these things don't last. It needs more fluid and frequent changes. Transfer case is full and topped up. Drain plug is tightened. Let's slam this exhaust back on and go for a ride. So quiet. Literally cannot even hear this car. Wow. What is 0 to 60 on a 2016 Ford Taurus SHO? 5.2 seconds, according to the Google AI. Let's test. There we go. I'll stall it up a little.
30. 60.
How'd we do? Ooh, 6.2. It definitely felt pretty slow, I'm not gonna lie. 6.2 to 60, that's not good. I'm gonna try turning traction control off and stalling it a little bit better, but yeah, it felt very sluggish off the line. All right, that was way better. We have a verified 5.7 seconds to 60. All right, 5.7 to 60 is definitely more like it. This says 155,000 miles, so has it lost a half second to 60? Maybe. Let's just start modifying and see how low we can get this to go. On something else, these tires, they're making a lot of noise. It's very loud in here. These things are just shot. They look good on the outside, but let me show you. Let's get these big 20-inch rims off. Overall, the tread on these tires doesn't look bad at first glance, but if you look at the inside of a couple of these tires, they are worn out because of an alignment issue. And you guys can tell how old your tires are if you find the DOT number. Move on over, 2021. So they're definitely not brand new. So of course, I have gotten all new tires from my friends at PriorityTire.com. This is by far the best online store to get your new tires. And this time I'm running their Capricorn Ultra High Performance. So this is a great all-season tire, and it has really good ratings, super affordable too. So when you click on my link down below, you'll be greeted with a beautiful website that works really well on mobile as well. So you can start searching on your phone for new tires right now, and you can search by size or just type in your year, make, model, and show, and you'll be able to choose from dozens of great options. I mean, they have tires to fit every single budget, and something else that I love is that Priority alerts you of factory rebates so you don't have to go searching. And something I've never seen on a tire website is they offer a military discount, first-time buyer discount, and more. You're also gonna get free shipping on every order, a 90-day money-back guarantee, and you can even have your tires shipped directly to a local installer, which you can find right on their site. I've been using Priority Tire for 2 years now, and about 10 cars between myself, friends, and family, and everything has been great. If you guys are due for new tires, there's no other site to look at other than PriorityTire.com. They have the best deals. It's super easy to use, and you can get started right now by clicking on my link down below, and I have a new promo code. It's legit PT524. I'll put it down there as well, and that's gonna get you 5% off. Check out the website, get some new meats. Back to the SHO, or is it the show? Whichever. Check it out, my tire guys down the street were super quick. They already mounted and balanced the new tires. Driver's side is installed, and I really love the tread pattern. And you know what? Before we rip this thing apart, I wanna go for a quick ride with the new tires, see if our noise has been reduced at all, or maybe it's just mostly coming from the transfer case at this point. All right, I'll torque these, let's roll. Okay, this is funny. So the tire noise is fixed, but I can hear something down here, transfer case noise, but wow, okay. She's on borrowed time, that's for sure. Oh man, but these tires, they feel great. I love them. Don't you love when you get new tires? It's just like it's a new lease on life. Maybe it's not that dramatic, but let's get back to the shop and give the rest of this show a real new lease on life by making it like 50 times faster. Is there any blow off sound at all? None. We gotta fix that. Hang on, before we free up this exhaust and make this sound cool from that end, I wanna see if I can get it to sound cool from the other end, the intake side, and for free. So the Taurus has 2 blow-off valves, one here and one there, and they're routed back to the intake with this tube. But because this car is speed density, meaning it doesn't use a mass airflow sensor and it uses a map sensor instead, we can just vent that off into the atmosphere and the computer won't know any difference. It won't care. If you have a mass airflow sensor, you have to tune for this, but we don't. So let's disconnect stuff and see what it sounds like. Goodbye, innocent little tube. Hello, open blow-off valve. And we'll just get rid of this thing altogether, weight reduction. I had to remove the actual blow-off valve in this back one to get to the tube so I can show you guys what an electronic blow-off valve looks like. I've never seen the inside of one of these either, but pretty basic solenoid. So this is the pressure side of the intercooler system, and when you let off the throttle, that boost pressure needs to escape somewhere, and now it's just gonna escape out. But that means we need to plug this side. This is not a pressure side, but we still need to plug it because it sucks in air. And I went to the hardware store and spent $1.99 for a 4-pack of rubber leg tips. These are what you put at the bottom of a chair so it doesn't scratch a floor, but they're very thick and they fit perfect. I bought a few different sizes. I'm sure I'll use them at some point. But check it out. If you're curious, the 1-inch fits perfect, and I mean, it looks factory. All right, let's see if this gives us any whoosh noises from the turbo. And does that noise sound different like in England? Is it whatcha? Or it's more like a whatcha if you're a country boy. All right, let's see what we got. It doesn't do anything in park. Hang on. We might need some load. Put it in drive, I'll brake torque it. Oh! Yes! That is so cool. So they sell blow-off valves for these, and they're kind of expensive, and there's no reason. Its job is just simply to blow the air off. So a 4-pack is $1.99. If my math serves me correctly, we just spent $1 to make cool turbo-y sounds. I'll take it. All right, now that we have the intake making some noise, let me show you this beautiful exhaust. There's a whole lot to this because we are replacing everything from the tailpipes all the way to the downpipes, and everything you see here in the exhaust system is from PPE Engineering. I'm gonna leave you guys a link down below. They are one of the only companies that makes a complete EcoBoost exhaust system for my car. And of course I opted for the catted downpipes. This is a daily driver, and it's just beautiful stainless work, guys. I mean, I just cannot say enough on the quality and the workmanship. So this exhaust is not only gonna flow much better than what's on the car, but it's gonna sound much better and not be too loud because it is, again, my daily driver. Now, one of the biggest Achilles heels of this car is the exhaust system. It's super restrictive from the factory. You can almost feel it. It just feels very laggy, and doing this is gonna wake the whole car up. So without further ado, let's take the exhaust off of the car and get this stuff on, and I will leave a link. They're having a sale on all of this stuff right now, so take advantage. All right, hopefully this one will come right off. Oh yeah. Perfect. Ooh, those look fun. These have been soaking in gear oil too, so that might help. All right, it's fire time, and you want to heat up what the bolt threads into, not the bolt, because we're expanding things right now. So we want the metal around the bolt to expand. Let's try some good old-fashioned hand power here. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Bottom one's coming. Okay, there we go, that's gone. Surprisingly, this wideband O2 sensor came right out. It's gonna give us a lot more room to get to those 3 flange nuts. And I gotta say, having been in the racing game for a long time, it's pretty cool to see factory wideband O2 sensors on cars. Since these go right into the manifold that I don't wanna break, I'm torching them all. We'll hit them by hand. Oh, yes. Oh, beautiful. Woo! All right, well, that's 1 out of 6, so I don't wanna get too happy just yet. They all broke free. And that's the last nut. Whew, it's hot. And this little guy should come right out. There we go. Our baby little downpipe slash cat. With the downpipe off, we can inspect a few things in the turbocharger. So one would be our turbine wheel, and you can kind of move it up and down with your finger. make sure there's no shaft play, make sure that nothing is touching, and it spins freely like this. That's good. And right next to it is the wastegate flapper, so this should be totally closed right now. This is an issue on some turbo cars, BMWs, and a bunch of other makes, where the flapper gets really loose and sometimes it'll dig into the housing and then you have to replace the turbo. So this looks to be sealing perfect. And then with a little pry bar or screwdriver, you can move this wastegate arm and just make sure that it's opening and closing. And we're in good shape. This is really nice and tight and it's not rattling either. And this is a great time while you're in there to lubricate this arm on the outside. There we go. Because if that gets rusted and doesn't move and that flapper stays shut, it's not gonna be able to release any boost and then your engine's gonna go probably not. I mean, this is a very highly computer controlled engine that will most likely figure it out and not blow up, but you want that flapper moving freely. 2 bolts out, last one cracked loose. All right, O2 sensor disconnected. Should come right up. There we go. All right, not too bad. I checked the flapper and the turbo for play on this side and we are all good. The good thing about filling this and going for a test drive is that we can definitely see where the leak is coming from. Right here. I just pulled the drain and the fluid in here is not looking good. Look at all that glitter. And look at the fill after just driving it for like a mile. That's not good. Honestly, I think this PTU is on borrowed time. I was gonna remove and reseal this front cover and replace this seal here and this output shaft seal. I cleaned this up. This is leaking bad too. And then I realized it's leaking everywhere. There's oil just coming out of this whole PTU. So at this point, I'm gonna look into getting a whole new PTU. There is no point to put a ton of time and effort into this one as I think it's eventually going to fail. And I found out that the Police Interceptor version of this Taurus has an upgraded unit that I believe holds more fluid and has a cooler. And then there may be a company out there that makes like an aftermarket PTU that's just stronger in general. So I'm gonna look into those options. For now, I'm gonna rig up what I think to be the biggest leak on this, and we'll get to that later. Let's do this exhaust. The rest of the exhaust should be pretty easy. I'm gonna remove the stock exhaust all in one chunk. So if you spray a little penetrating oil into these rubber bushings, you could then get a screwdriver in here and do one of these. That's it. All right, guys, there's one more bolt holding this entire exhaust in, well, and my little jack. Okay, it's just you and me, exhaust. Oh, wait a minute. There's 2 more bolts over here. Forgot. Just kidding. Okay, now this should work. Gotta work smarter, not harder. We're utilizing our little screw jack here. This is a very heavy exhaust. Get the old shoulder in it. Oh my gosh, okay. If there were instructions for this part, it would say to get a friend or a neighbor or a family member or someone that's willing to risk their life to make your Ford Taurus sound like a Ford GT. Similar engines, just saying. Okay, this weighs about 400 pounds. She's out. Let's get the new stuff in. It should go together like super easy. Oh man, look at this juicy goodness just waiting to get on my shop floor. No, you don't. No, you don't. Goodbye. That was some pure Michigan dirt and rocks, this Michigan car. We're gonna hit this with a little heavy duty metal protector so it won't continue to rust. I do this all the time on little parts like this. Something like this is still solid, but if you let it go too long, it won't be solid for long. So I undercoat all my daily drivers with the AMSOIL heavy duty metal protector. This stuff goes on as a liquid, but cures as a wax. Very easy to do yourself at home, very inexpensive, especially considering the cost of repairing rust. I'll even go around to bolts and nuts like this and spray them, get a nice coating so they're easy to take out. And when you get a new car, just make sure to hit surface rust like this before it starts to grow into a problem. Like right there, you're done. You've just protected this whole area. Before the exhaust goes back together, I've cleaned up this area here where I think the majority of our leak is coming from. And what you're about to see me do is definitely not proper. This is a temporary fix because I don't want to put any time, effort, or money into this PTU. So yeah, watch this. This is JB Weld. I already mixed it together. And the PTU is drained and properly cleaned, and I blew shop air into the little crevice here where I think it's leaking from. And we are going to just do this with some JB Weld. Yeah, just to seal it in there. And I think the case might be porous. That could actually be the leak because I've sat there and watched it with fluid and it doesn't really seep out of where the case is split. It's like over a little bit. It's weird. But anyway, even more reason to just JB weld the bottom of the case, just make sure that everything is clean. And yeah, actually this will be a fun little experiment. Let's do this. The Taurus has 155,000 miles on it right now. Place your guess in the comment section on how long until the PTU grenades. Put down an exact mileage, and when this happens, because I do think this thing is gonna fail, I am going to pick whoever was the closest in mileage, be exact, and I'm gonna send you out a really nice LegitStreetCars.com care package full of awesome detail supplies and merch. So we are making a contest out of how long it takes for my transfer case to blow up. Totally normal. All right, hang on, I wanna be exact about this. The car will have 155,521,000 miles by the time this video is over. So place your guesses down below at what mileage will the transfer case totally fail. So Stan from Cannonball just pulled up in Arnie's awesome Duramax Savannah GMC van and this really sweet trailer. And this works out perfectly because Stan has a gray 2016 Taurus SHO, just like mine, that he's basically reverting back to stock, and he needed the stock exhaust. It's the cycle of Taurus SHO life. So this is perfect. Get this out of my shop. It's going to Stan. We're gonna start installing the new downpipes, and I am replacing all 4 O2 sensors, even though they weren't bad, but these are wide bands, 150,000 miles. I just want them to be very accurate. All right, that's good. Using a little bit of the orange high temp exhaust RTV. Let's see, is this gonna work? Yeah. There we go. Sweet. We'll get one of these nuts started. One of the studs pulled out, but that's okay. All right, that should hold it in there. All right. All right. That one's tight. One down, one to go. Okay, to downpipe number 2. There we go. All right, with the downpipes on, we have this to install. Now that this is in sections, it's much easier to handle. Slide this part into the hanger. There we go. And this one too, cool. Now we have new donut gaskets. We'll slide in our new donut. It's totally not a donut at all. I use my head though to hold this. I'm like the perfect height to hold this exhaust up. So glad I'm not any taller than 5'8". It's so awesome. I'm actually 5'8.5". You know you're short when you start counting like the half inches, you know? We're gonna tighten up this bracket next. Spray this side too. This works really well on these hangers. Helps it slide right on. And then spray some on the inside, and since it turns into a wax, it's a nice lubricant. All right, so this is a resonator, and it's gonna slide in like that. Nice. And since we have this lubricated, it'll fit nicely. Look at that. We're gonna leave everything loose for now. We're gonna put the clamps in place. They'll be right like that. Next, we have this piece of exhaust. It's like a big exhaust puzzle. Little shimmy sham, there we go. And these are nice because they just bottom out, you know exactly how far to go in. Clamps will go right there. Now we're gonna reinstall our hangers. Muffler number 1 going in, and we're gonna put this through the hanger first. Okay, let's put this one on too. There we go. All right, now it'll hold it so I can mess with this. This is why I like to leave everything loose. We can manipulate the exhaust all together. All right, that's in. Clamp will go like that. One more piece. Actually, no, I'm kidding. We have the chrome polished tips to do after this. Get in there. Ah, so nice. So far, fitment is awesome. Oh man, this is so clean. Oh, it's like factory, but better. Tip number 2. I'm gonna give this about a finger distance right here. Tighten this up. Another finger on this side so we know they're even. That's it, guys. All of you guys watching could do an exhaust system like this. Super high quality. I highly recommend this. I'll definitely leave a link down below, but it went together like butter. The installation, it's not even like for a weekend warrior. It's for like a 3-hour warrior. Very easy. Anyway, this is what the exhaust looked like before. It actually wasn't in the worst of condition, but 155,000 miles and stock. And now we have this, a beautiful, complete exhaust system all the way from our new downpipes to the tailpipe. So very excited. Let's see what it sounds like. All right, first start with the new exhaust. That's beautiful. It's not loud. That's exactly what I wanted. Oh yeah, it's got a nice deep throaty sound. This is great. Sometimes I worry with V6s. Oh, this is gonna sound so good under load. Good job, PPE engineering. This is perfect fitment, was spot on. Nothing is rubbing, nothing. It's just absolutely perfect. I love it. And right now we can't even rev it that high with the stock tune, but once we get the new tune, we'll be able to go revving as high as we want. Let's continue. With the Taurus now able to exhale a little bit better from the exhaust, it's time to improve its inhale with this gigantic intercooler from my friends at Gearhead. So they developed a bolt-on solution, so this intercooler won't require any modifications. And it's good for about 45 more horsepower. So the factory intercooler, as we're about to see, is barely sufficient for a stock car, let alone a modified one. So this is a must-have. Oh, and Gearhead hooked me up with their tuner. I can't wait to show you all the cool stuff we can do with this. We have a lower temperature thermostat and a 3-bar map sensor and pre-gapped plug. So this is one of their performance packages. If you guys have an EcoBoost, definitely check out their link down below. So we need to remove this front bumper to get to the intercooler. And look at the world's cutest little screws holding in our fender liner. They're little 5.5 mils. So cute. Driver side fender liner is out of the way, and so is the passenger side. And next we have a few 10s and a few Phillips and a few of these pop-in style clips like that. And then this comes right off. It's a note for me? What is that? Oh, sticker. Now we remove the fender liner to get to this little clip here, which you kind of got to pry out. Oh, okay, I got it. These clips can be a total nightmare. I think that's all that holds in the corner of this bumper. Probably gonna replace that, but let's see. Yeah, it's not held in by much. Give them that. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but okay. Theoretically, this should pop off now, I think. Clip out of that side too, okay. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Wow, that is really easy to do the bumper on a Ford Taurus. I mean, once the fender liners are out, it's like a couple clips and 2 plugs for the fog lights, that's it. With the bumper off, we can see a leak that I spotted when I first bought this car. And this shares a transmission cooler with the AC system. So this is a transcooler and an AC condenser in one. Obviously, they're totally split systems, but one unit we have to replace. And here's our new one, and you can tell which side of this is the transmission cooler. It's these fins here, the rest is AC condenser. Normally to do the intercooler, you don't need to remove this, but we're replacing it, which means we have to recover the AC. And there it is, recovering our refrigerant. It had ice cold AC. The leak is from the transcooler side. And then obviously if you don't have an AC machine, which I don't expect most of you do, I just recently got this. This part you'd have to bring to a shop to get it recovered if you're swapping that out. But again, you don't have to if you're just doing the intercooler for more power. All right, don't think that is all of it. Let's see. No, yep, sucking down some more. All right, we'll keep going. While the AC machine is doing its thing, we're gonna remove this air box. Okay, I did loosen everything. It was tight. Here is our cleaned up Canon air filter. Still looking pretty clean. I'm gonna pop this out. I already got a couple bolts out here. All right, she gone, and I'm definitely cleaning this again. I'm gonna remove this bracket too. That's just for the air box. And I think it'll just give us a little bit more room to this area here. That is part of the factory intercooler. All right, this is done. 1.2 came out. I think it takes 1.4, a little low, not too weird. Stop beeping. Okay, that's done. We're gonna be removing the old intercooler with the radiator, so I have to drain it. Here are the 2 AC lines we need to remove. All right. Oh, it's crusty. All right, both AC lines are out. We'll definitely replace these O-rings, although they don't really look all that bad. So since we're replacing the Intercooler, this is a great time to replace transmission fluid. And we just have to pull this drain plug there. There's our trans fluid. How does it look? I mean, it doesn't look perfect, but we have no idea how old this is. I don't even know if Ford says to replace the transmission fluid. Probably not, but we're doing it anyway. But the transmission filter is internal to the transmission to the point where you have to split the case in half to replace the filter. So we're definitely not doing that. It's meant to be replaced if you're rebuilding the transmission. So we are going to be draining the fluid right from the bottom, as you see, and we're getting the new cooler in. So we're going to be replacing most of this fluid. So while that's draining, we are over here working on the hardware for this condenser slash transcooler. It's got 2 8s here on the bottom, 2 hoses up there, and this thing should come out. So here are the hose clamps for the transmission lines. And hopefully these play nice. All right, I can get that hose off. I gotta release this condenser a little bit. Maybe give myself a better angle. I don't know. This is the best barb fitting in the world. Just come off, please. Come on. Oh, it's so close. This is insanity. Insanity. Let go. Stop it. Stop going back. I'm done messing around, guys. This is it. Let's just do this one too. There we go. Professional. Now, I won. I won. Wow, look at how deep this goes in. This barb is intense. I mean, good job, Ford. I mean, I'll give it to you. Wasn't gonna leak, that's for sure. I mean, the transcooler and the condenser, that's gonna leak, but not from this fitting. Oh, okay. I'm out. I'm just kidding, I'm not out. I'm gonna continue working. Next up, we gotta get the engine fan out and some intake tubes. We gotta get everything out. Where is that? Okay, not everything, it's not that bad, but I don't know, I would say this is probably like a 5-hour job for sure. But there's a lot of stuff getting in the way, like this tube. So I undid both ends, that's gone. Oh, that's where we fill the transmission, by the way. That's cool. And I'm gonna be replacing the thermostat, so we gotta get this hose off anyway. There we go. All right, fan is coming out next, so I've unplugged it, and there were a couple of bolts in the corners. All right, and let's hope that a combination of shimming and finagling will bring us home free here. Sometimes when shimming is not enough, you gotta add a little finagle, and then subtract a little finagle, add shimming, and go back and forth. It's a fine balance. Like right now, this is a shimmy, this is a finagle. Just in case you guys were wondering. Oh, one last clip. Yay. All right, fan is out. Cool. Still disassembling. We have an intake tube in the way. This connects to the intercooler. So there, stay. And I disconnected the upper radiator hose. Stay. All right, so we're going radiator and intercooler out at the same time. So we're gonna push this forward and I'll remove these guys. Ooh, this is a nice little factory foam piece that seals in air. Oh, this is a tight fit for sure. Crunchy noises. Get out. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. What are you? Stop being stuck on stuff. Get out of here. All right, intercooler and radiator are out. And are you thinking what I'm thinking, guys? This is a lot of work to get to this. And if you saw the first video on this car, you know that we have a new water pump that requires engine removal and disassembly. It was $2,700 at the dealership. We are replacing the intercooler. We're replacing the thing in front of the intercooler, you know, the condenser and all that. I think we need a new radiator. What's the date code on this bad boy? Yeah, September 15th, 2016. Goodbye, little buddy. Even though you're working fine, you have plastic end tanks, we're replacing you while we're in there. All right, guys, it's the next day. The radiator should be here hopefully in the next hour. So we're doing some other stuff like plugging in our SET tool so we can give the strategy code, see right there, ECU strategy, to gearhead tuning. So they need that code in order to write the tune. Then they're gonna email it to me and I can zip it right in, which we'll do a little bit later. Next up, as part of the gearhead power pack, will be the thermostat, then we have the map sensor and the spark plugs. Let's do this. We got coolant drained. There's 2 bolts for the thermostat housing. I got the one in the back. Now we just have this one. Goodbye, bolt. Please don't be coolant. Oh, yay, not that much coolant. Oh, yet. I'm prepared for you, coolant. What you got? What you got? Oh, you're stuck. There we go. Oh, not bad, not bad. All right, I just called the auto parts store to have them include a new thermostat gasket, so that's on the way, so we can't install that yet, but we can replace the map sensor. That's what's nice about a project like this, there's always something to do. So this is nice and easy, one connector and only one screw holding it in. Look, there's a spot for a second screw. There's the one, but Ford was like, nah, we don't need two. Yeah, it's not even threaded, just one is good. I mean, there's absolutely no issues with map sensor leaks on these cars, so I mean, it worked. They saved, you know, 1 cent per screw per car. There's lots of Tauruses. You know, it definitely added up to some kind of bonus for somebody. Little MB sunroof grease on the seal. Nice. That's all you, buddy. You're the only one holding this thing down. Got a lot of responsibility, little screw. I know it's lonely out there, but you're gonna be all right. Hold all that boost pressure in. More boost pressure now. That's why we're putting this thing in there. There we go. Next is a little deja vu because we're gonna be replacing the spark plugs again. So I'll remove the coil. These first three are very easy to do, and the back aren't hard either. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, like a totally brand new spark plug with no issues whatsoever. So it's always important to listen to your tuner on what spark plugs to run and the gap. So Gearhead, who's tuned a bunch of these EcoBoosts, they're one of the best around, recommend this Ford plug. So it is a colder plug and they gapped it down. So we'll be able to run more boost with this plug without worrying about detonation. And this plug is better suited for ethanol. So we might be able to do a little bit of an ethanol mix for more octane, less detonation, more power. That's the whole idea with E85, although I don't think I'll be able to run full E85 until we do some serious fuel system upgrades, but we might be able to run a little. Anywho, new spark plugs going in. You guys saw me do this in the last video where we had multiple cracked spark plugs causing a bunch of misfires, but now we're just replacing them for more power. These spark plugs don't have a crush washer, so it's just about that much torque, that's all. Spark plugs are all done. Now it is time for the cooler thermostat. This is a 160-degree thermostat, and I got a new seal. It is lubricated, and this just pops in like that. Then the seal, and then the thermostat housing. Just like that. Both bolts are zipped in. Time for a little Alex torque. Click, and clack. Thermostat housing done. Map sensor done. All the spark plugs that you can't see right now done. And I have cleaned up where the radiator sits. That was a little grimy from our leaking cooler that is over there now. Oh, and I cleaned out the airbox with a pressure washer. This is what it looked like when I got the car, and this is what it looks like now. Okay, so even though we have a new radiator and intercooler, we just need to hijack the hardware from the old one. There we go. And this slides off. I just want to show you guys the difference between the two. All right, so here is the intercooler. Here is our old radiator. So right off the bat, you see that we don't have any plastic end tanks, which will fail not only on intercoolers, but on radiators as well. That's why I'm replacing this old nasty thing, 155,000 miles, and they press fit the plastic to the aluminum. There's seals that can go bad and they crack and then they leak and then you're stranded. Another big difference is the thickness of the intercooler. This one is much thicker and a way more efficient design. This is their second generation. So there's been lots of testing on this with pressure drops and cooling. And intercooling is super important, especially with two smaller turbos pumping a ton of hot air into the system. And they use this intercooler on a ton of super serious shows as well. So it's definitely gonna handle everything that we're throwing at it and keep our power consistent. This will mean we can hit it over and over again and it won't pull all of the timing out because the intake air temperatures have shot up to the moon. All right, new radiator is in. Now we can just slide it right on top of our new intercooler. Slides in like that. And then we can tighten up the two 8mm, one on this side, one on the other. I know what you're thinking, Alex. Why do you have this hose on here? It's tough to get to once this is in. So that is why. Don't want to scratch any new stuff. Coming out's easy because you don't really care. Ooh, all right, not bad. All right, I think I'm clear of pretty much everything. Okay. It's in. Let's hook up a bunch of stuff. There's two 8s that hold in the top of the radiator, and one right here. Yeah, this is gonna get covered up. The old Punisher skull right here is gonna get covered up, so we won't see, well, I don't know, maybe we'll see some of it. I guess we're gonna find out soon once we install that. But yeah, this is something that Gearhead puts on there Looks pretty mean. The intercooler has this one removable section, which makes the install a million times easier. It just fits in right there, and there's 2 bolts, one on top, one on bottom. All right, so that's bolted in, and I just want to show you something that's really nice to see on an aftermarket part. That is provisions for little clips like this. They could have left that out, but then this harness would be kind of dangling around over here. That is a nice thing to see. There are a lot of aftermarket parts that don't do anything even remotely close to that, so good job, Gearhead. Intake tube going in before the fans. This will be a lot easier to connect without the fans in the way. Slides on there, and this end right here. Next up is the dual electric fan setup, and with the harness kind of pulled out of the way, should be no fuss, right? No fuss. Oh, I put the upper radiator hose just on there. Don't do that, gets in the way. Oh, there we go. Go to your home fan. Intake with noisemaker going back on. Supposedly this pipes engine noise into the cabin. I don't know what that actually really does, but it's there. All right, and this clips down like that. Intake air right there, and a little tighten so we don't get boost leaks. Now, before we install the new one, it is important to get a new seal on this edge here. This is the old seal. It just fell off because it was contaminated with oil, but this seals off the edges of the cooler to channel air right through it. And you can buy new foam at the store for super cheap. So we'll lay this out, and it's got a sticky side to it, so you don't have to glue it in or anything. And then give it a little cut. There we go, all sealed up. Looks a little better too because it's gray, it kind of blends in. All right, that is all done. Let's install it. All right, let's see if this covers up the old skull here. I mean, it definitely covers it up. I just don't know if we're gonna see it like, you know, through. But we're gonna find out, people. We will soon have an answer. That slides there, that slides there. All right, let's see. Nope. Nope, can't see it at all. I'm kind of okay with that being a Ford Taurus. I kind of like the sleeper look, especially in this gray color. No one really knows anything about this car, like at all. They're soon gonna know all about it when I whoosh, right past them. Well, hello, we meet again. This time I'm prepared. I'm not really prepared. I just hope these hoses just go right over and there's no fuss. Well, you best be scared, boys, because I'm coming for you. I don't know what that means, really. But come on, work with me. This one's kind of plain ball. Play ball hose. Where'd that one come from? Play ball. Like, were there a bunch of people in history that didn't want to play ball and then they were forced to play ball? Where did these sayings come from? Probably the aliens who built the pyramids. Oh, what's going on? Whew. Oh, that one's going on too. All right. We might be okay. Transmission cooler lines are done, and now it is time to fill the transmission, and Ford makes it easy. You pull out an actual dipstick, and it's right there. Stick a funnel in, and you're filling up your transmission. So we're gonna start off with like 4 or 5 quarts, and then we have to warm the engine up to check it. Now's a good time for some coolant. And we'll get that through the system, air bubbles out. Drink up, buddy, drink up. So I've hooked up the AC lines with new studs and nuts. Put some of the plastic stuff back together. We're almost there. Just gotta slap the bumper on, basically. All right, I just pulled a vacuum for the last 20 minutes. Vacuum finished. We are good, and it is holding in the negatives. Perfect, now we can charge this thing up. Yes, stop talking. Hang on, we need to recharge though. I need my AC, it's gonna be summer. I mean, it kind of is summer, right? 1.4 pounds. There we go. Yay! We're done, 1.4, it's awesome. All right, so now we're gonna close these up, and then the machine is gonna do a clearing of the hose so we don't have refrigerant stuck in them. So now we can remove from the car. And yes, I gotta say, it is very nice having an AC machine. I've been working on cars at home and here for the last like 22 years. Never had one of these. It's awesome. All right, so we have coolant, trans fluid, refrigerant. Let's fire this up for the first time with the new intercooler system, everything, warm it up, check trans fluid, and yeah, we're almost there. Fires right up. I ended up putting 5 quarts in. Let's see. Nah, we need more. I just added another quart and ran it through the gears. I don't know why I felt the need to point at the shifter that indicates gears. So with 6, what do we got? Looks like we're actually pretty spot on right now. We have to check this when it's hot, but yeah, I think we're gonna be okay. Sorry, paint. The coolant is bled, and I'm letting it run for a little bit, just looking everything over. No leak from there yet. I don't know, that might actually fix it. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on the old transfer case. Well, I mean, if it doesn't blow up during these 0 to 60 runs that we're about to do. But exhaust is looking good. We don't have any leaks. All right, let's get the bumper on. Hang on, I'm about to put the bumper on, and it never ends. I found something else. No big deal. I'm actually glad I caught it. This serpentine belt is not in the best of shape. Luckily, it's super easy to replace. It's only spinning the alternator and the AC compressor. Because this car has electric power steering and the water pump is driven by the timing chain, which is actually kind of a horrible thing since, you know, you have to drop the engine and take it all apart to replace it. All right, we'll release the tension. Slide this thing off of the tensioner, like so. And then we can remove the belt. Yeah, if you see cracks like that, it's time for a new one. Ford belt, could be original. I'm going with the Ford belt too. I like to keep my Ford all Ford. I mean, Continental, it probably makes all the belts for everybody anyway, right? It's a good brand. All right, so then we'll wrap it around like the two things that this spins, literally two things. I gotta say this tensioner feels great. Don't see any need to replace that. Slide it on. Release tension. You've successfully saved yourself probably 150 bucks if you went to the dealer. That's probably about what they charge you for the serpentine belt replacement. Do it at home, people. It's bumper time, bumper time. Pretty easy bumper time, I must say. Ford, you did a good job. It's almost like you know something about like an assembly line and quick processes or processes. I'm a process guy. I mean, I'm in Chicago. We got a lot of ahs going on. Not as much as you Boston people though. Seriously easy. Front bumper and wheels are back on, and the last piece to the Ford Taurus puzzle would be the airbox. So this actually has a decent little ram air cold induction action going on, and there aren't really any big gains by getting an expensive air intake on these. Most guys that have done testing just end up running a high flow air filter, and that's about it. They've designed this air intake pretty well. Air filter going in. Couple of screws. The screws up in my head loose. Wait, what song is that? It just came to me. I can't think of it right now. Couple of screws up in my head loose. Factory airbox. Couple clips. Tighten this guy. I almost forgot. Final piece to the puzzle is the SHO cover. All right, now we're really ready. Wait, I gotta close the hood. Okay, now we're ready. I just got the tune file from Matt over at Gearhead, so we're gonna program the vehicle. Turn key on. I have a battery charger hooked up as well. Here's our custom tune. Okay, so now it's saving my stock file. And here we go. Oh, she's kind of starting to wake up right now. Almost done. There are a few more steps I'm not used to here. Then again, I'm kind of new to the Ford game, so it makes sense. Okay, now it's putting the tune in. 96, 97, 98. System's going crazy. Everything's back on. All right. Clearing DTCs, we should be good. Download complete and successful. I now have a tuned Taurus SHO. Let's go rip it. Guys, check this out. It now shows me what gear I'm in on the cluster. I never had that before. So they tuned the transmission, and I should get a little rev match on the downshift as well. So very excited. You know, if you watch my Caprice videos, how much I love a little bit of a downshift rev match. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh man, right off the bat, like half throttle feels like full throttle now. That's crazy. Whoa, I didn't stall it up at all. Oh my gosh. Oh, this feels awesome. So it's even gonna get better as I drive it. Because of the auto octane tune, I actually have to drive it like about 10 miles right now just around town. And that is going to allow the ECU to read what kind of fuel this car has, and then also, you know, any knock detection and stuff like that. So once it realizes that we have 93 octane, it'll give me full boost, which is about 16 PSI just on 93 octane. If I go into ethanol, it'll go up even higher. A stock boost is like 8 or 9. So we're like doubling the boost. Oh, there's that rev match. Oh, this is awesome, guys. That is so cool. I love it. And inside the car, the exhaust sounds fantastic. It's definitely not loud, which is exactly what I wanted. We have catalytic converters, so no weird smell. It just rev matched again. Oh, this is so cool. All-wheel drive, twin turbo, big comfy Ford Taurus that cost me like $6 grand, and now man, so far it feels pretty fast. So Gearhead sent me a custom logging configuration so we can pick all sorts of stuff to look at. I have Lambda or AFR, and then this octane adjust ratio. If you're at negative 0.96, that means it's detected its highest octane with regular fuel, and you're gonna get all the boost in the world. So we should be good. And it didn't really take that long. It took like 5 miles. All right, guys, Draggy is on. Let's see what this thing does to 60 with the tune, the exhaust, the intercooler, the map sensor, and whatever else we did in this video. I don't even know anymore. All right, we'll stall it up. Oh, it feels way better. Oh man. Woo! This is great, guys. Wow. No way. We got 4.86. 4.86 to 60. Wow, that is awesome. So we've almost shaved off a full second from the 0 to 60. That's awesome. I gotta do this again. I need more practice. Woo! Here it is. The blow-up sound is so cool. What are we at? A little slower, 5 seconds flat. To be expected, I literally just hot lapped it. And it is much hotter out today and humid. It is literally drizzling a little bit. But I gotta say, no traction issues whatsoever, even stalling it up, so that's good. Here's what the car sounded like before the exhaust, just kind of revving it in park. And here we are after. And one thing that's really different now with the tune is that we have the blow-off valve action just even in park. All right, now I'm like working on my launch here. Oh, there we go. Traction control kicked on for the first time, like ever. Oh, all right. So you got to stall it up a little bit more. It likes that. What do we get? What do we get? Where is it? Wow, this is insane. We did 4.86 again. There's literally 2 4.86s on here. What are the chances of that? But hang on, now I'm turning traction control off. All right, well, this is a hot lap. Woo! All right, it could never spin the tires like before at all. 4.83, and that was on a hot lap. Gosh, I could definitely get this lower. I gotta let it cool off. But on a positive note, the PTU has not blown up yet, so that's pretty awesome. Oh man, you know what's great about this tune is even like the part throttle just feels so good. Yeah, it's so much more responsive than before. I love my show. I drive a Ford Taurus. I drive a Dodge Stratus. All right, I've let this cool off for like 3 minutes. Whoa, that was good. Spinning them, but that's fine. We got another 4.8. It's consistent, I gotta say. I hopped on the highway. I'm just curious on new downshift patterns at part throttle. Look at that. That is like a quarter throttle. It is awesome. They really got the transmission tune down like perfectly. I absolutely love the transmission tune. And I mean, just the whole car is so much more responsive. This is great, guys. I really recommend, at the very least, just if you have one of these EcoBoosts in anything, definitely get a tune. Well, there you have it, guys. My now modified daily driver Ford Taurus SHO that cost me, with auction fees and everything, like $6,200. And now with a few easy bolt-ons that any one of you guys can do at home, this car is not only much faster, but it's totally sorted. Well, except for the PTU that is still leaking and making really bad noises. That's definitely not sorted, but I get to order a new upgraded PTU, so that's pretty cool. And I sent the tuner logs of these 0 to 60 runs, and he says he can tell the high pressure fuel pump is on its way out and it's losing fuel pressure and going a little lean and into a little bit of a safety mode. So that needs some sorting too, but they make a high performance, high pressure fuel pump. So then I'll be able to run ethanol and the car could be even faster as it is right now if it wasn't losing that fuel pressure. So we do still have a few more things to do to fully sort this thing. But remember to place your guesses down below on how long until this PTU goes kaplooey. And that's it. Then I'll be driving this car all the time. And when I go on long cruises, I get to put 87 in and save like $1 a gallon. Super excited about that. It's so much peppier and fun and it makes cool noises, but not too much. It's like the perfect combination of daily driver goodness. Comment down below what you guys are currently daily driving. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, share the video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. I don't know if I've ever talked about that before, but if you hit that, you'll be notified of my new videos, which are always Saturday morning. And I will see you guys soon with, yeah, we got some more turbo-y goodness coming. So have a fantastic day. I'll catch you all in the next video. A few weeks ago, I revealed this. This? I don't know. Okay. Stop beeping. Stop beeping. So we have a chance at it coming apart. So we have a chance of it coming apart without beep, 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 beep. Trying to film a video, people. So for $1.99, you get 4 of these rugger. How long are you gonna back up? Barely sufficient for the stock car. It heats up quite a bit. I got my big garage door open, getting a new furnace put in. It's loud. Oh, dang, come on, Billy. Cletus. La 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 la. Wow, what a pain in the ass.